Welcome to today's Skill Up. My name is Emily Spranger. I am a academic learning specialist at NU, and I am thrilled to be able to have Dr. Sarah McCue join us today to present what I wish someone told me when I was starting my career, and just a few items before we move into today's session. We absolutely want you to have conversation in the chat, so we welcome that. You can put questions in the Q&A, and we are going to record today's session, so you'll get a copy of the materials and the PowerPoint for future reference. And then, if you wouldn't mind, for the best flow of today's presentation, please do remain muted unless called upon. All right, let me go ahead and introduce you to our speaker today. Dr. McCue has come to present before in one of our Skill Ups, but today she is coming back to talk about a new topic. And Dr. Sarah McCue focuses her career on economic empowerment and online higher education for United Nations and international NGO initiatives. She's also a social entrepreneur, having created an online mentoring initiative funded by Elon Musk and a global online university for quantitative finance industry. She is an adjunct faculty member at National University, an author and researcher, where she is currently focusing on ways to remove plastic, particularly from our bodies, our drinking waters, and our food and soil. So thank you, Dr. McCue, for sharing what you wish someone had told you when you started your career, and I will pass this over to you.
Thank you so much, Emily. It is so good to be here to share the things that students don't often hear in an academic university setting. The advice I wish someone had shared with me when I was embarking on my career, the commencement of a journey into the boundless possibilities that awaited me. And now that wait for you all as you plan a career and a life that sets your hearts on fire when you wake. And so, remembering that time in my life, I thought back to those years and asked myself, what would you say to your younger self? What do you wish someone would have told you when your life was fully open to explore and curate? And I thought, I wish someone had encouraged me to do these things that I will share now. And having taught and gotten to know the hearts and minds, the strengths and the insecurities of hundreds of students, each of you will earn a degree. Perhaps you'll get a master's in a second master's degree, or go on to receive a PhD, or plan to become deeply skilled in something. I love that Ed Sheeran and Billie Eilish attribute their success to Malcolm Gladwell's 10,000 hours rule, where whatever it is you decide to do in life, if you dedicate the time, you will become competent, able, and expert in whatever it is that is your passion. Perhaps it will take less or more than these hours, but to achieve any dream, be deliberate, be focused, and be determined, for life is so beautiful when you have many dreams, interests, and passions. My mom placed inspirational quotes throughout our house, and now I place reminders for my children to see every day, such as one positive thing in the morning can change your whole day, or Gandhi's be the change that you wish to see in the world. And my favorite is regarding diligence and determination by Theodore Roosevelt, our 26th president. And I love this quote because with self-discipline comes self-respect and self-reliance. He said, the quality which sets someone apart from another is not talent, formal education, nor intellectual brightness. It is self-discipline. With self-discipline, all things are possible. And the characteristics of self-discipline include balance, ability to remain calm, confidence, self-control, determination, and willpower. And so you will experience so many beautiful moments in life, but there will be those hard, bitter moments as soon as you're able, when the rage of anger or devastation from hurt or betrayal extinguishes. I would encourage you to take the time to understand why it happened and then forgive. Truly, deeply forgive, for it is the incredible gift that you can give to yourself. A belief system is an ideology or a set of principles that help us interpret our everyday reality. And this can be in the form of a religion, political affiliation, philosophy, or a spirituality, among many other tenets. Believing in something will provide a sense of purpose, moral guidance, and often a framework for living and interacting with others. I encourage you also to take some time to Google something known as the seven vices or the seven temptations. And these are things that you might need to address sooner than later as you progress through life. You know yourself best. Will it be envy, greed, lust, pride, gluttony, laziness, or anger? That if you conquer early on will allow you to have an immensely happier life. It's also good to understand the seven virtues that I encourage you to also look up when you have a reflective moment. They represent positive life behaviors that bring integrity and a fulfilling life, and they include faith, justice, hope, fortitude, resilience, and moderation. And regarding moderation, whether it is Netflix binging, too much video gaming, using social media or texting instead of talking with someone, eating, drinking, sleeping, or spending too much, finding moderation in how you will balance work and life is mature and healthy and will allow you to achieve so much more in life. Much more easier said than done, right? And if someone had told me when I graduated that malls and small shops would disappear, nearly half the working population would work from home, you could have anything delivered to your home, that our planet and incredulously our bodies would be overwhelmed with plastic, that so many would lose their lives to drugs and increasingly to our cell phones and social media, that have contributed to a national crisis of depression and isolation, I would have said, it doesn't have to be this way. I have said this phrase so many times in my work, and it is often the fuel I need to once again begin a project that will bring impact and change. And so I encourage you to make conscious choices to change the way things are, like support local business owners who well know you can get their product online. Fight to end addiction with anyone you know who is struggling. Stop buying anything that's plastic and make deliberate efforts to be more connected to friends and family. I love that the immediate past US Surgeon General issued a warning that we are in a crisis of isolation. If there's only one thing I wish for you to remember is to be the one who organizes a friend or family gathering, a walk, to meet someone for coffee, take a day trip to explore a nearby town, plan a birthday party, neighborhood get together, or when your parents do the game night and the pool parties and the play dates and the hangouts. Most adults and even kids aren't getting together as much anymore as they were before the pandemic. And as I can attest for my own kids, life is so much better when we focus on spending it with others. Now more than ever, it is so important to focus on being in the moment. And I'm fascinated by the Japanese concept of something called Ichigo Ichi that respects that this moment will never happen again and therefore gives reverence to the moment to be fully present with phones down and hearts wide open. As a kid raised in poverty, I remember often looking into the stars at night and thinking, I feel so helpless. I feel so invisible. I hate being poor. There's never enough for even the basics of life. When I'm an adult, I will remember what it feels like not to have enough heat, to eat popcorn for dinner, to have the electricity turned off, and to feel the cold judgment of where I lived and what I wore. And I tell my children that there will always be someone who has bigger, better, faster, more stuff, better looks, more charisma, more confidence, more opportunity, a bigger house, a faster car. But the ones we should spend our time thinking about are those who have less than us. And I also wish someone had told me that it is your fundamental right to be respected in your home, in the workplace, and in your relationships. I cannot tell you how happy I am that since I graduated from high school, we have reached a deeper understanding in our culture that no means no. To be humble or have humility is not thinking less of yourself, but thinking of yourself less. Be the one who admits when you're wrong or made a mistake. Repair the relationship with a sincere apology. Be the one who encourages those to speak who are silent, the one who points out the strengths of others, who makes a point to thank others, offers to babysit for a single mom, calls a grandparent to say, I'd love to know more about your life. And when you graduate or start that new job, says to a parent, thank you for all you did to raise me. And to take a few minutes to explain what this means by sharing a few of your happiest memories. Some of you may remember the Cinderella movie released in 2015 and the advice given to Cinderella as a small child by her real mother before she passed away. I remember watching the incredibly touching scene with my daughter where the mother says on her deathbed, Ella, my darling, I want to tell you a great secret that will see you through all the trials in life. You must always remember this. Have courage and be kind. Kindness has power more than you know. And I thought, that's the best advice I could give to my child. Have courage and be kind. Courage goes beyond rescuing someone from a burning building. It means having the courage to stand up to bullies and trolls who make comments without actually speaking and standing up for someone else. Speak out against injustice or wrongdoing when most prefer to look away. Courage is needed when overcoming personal obstacles in illness or addiction, or when some of you will decide to start a business or a nonprofit organization, run for office, or speak truth to power. It takes courage to apologize, share fears and vulnerabilities, and most importantly, as you embark into adulthood, to pursue goals and dreams that others may doubt or discourage. And as was the case for me, it takes courage to say to yourself, I can have a better life. I may not be the smartest, and God knows it's going to be tough, but I am going to do it. And just as you will need to find that courage for yourself, be sure to encourage anyone who has a dream. Just as you will be encouraged, I've been encouraged along the way, and make a point to return that kindness in honor of those who have said to me, I see you. You have so much potential. And you all have so much potential. Please believe this, and please build a life for yourself that is happy and generous, helpful, and kind. Kindness means being friendly, generous, and considerate toward others, regardless of their background, circumstances, or differences, by showing compassion, empathy, and understanding. Kindness also means showing up to help when you're tired, volunteering, and then organizing moments that one person or group, or large or small, will remember for the positive impact you brought to their lives. But being kind does not mean being a pushover or a chump, where sometimes I'll need to say, don't mistake my kindness for weakness. When you're being kind, oxytocin, dopamine, and endorphins are released, and these are the hormones that bring pleasure and happiness. And so, in closing, I will share with you what I personally think is the key to happiness based on my life experiences, where I hid so much of what I was experiencing as a kid just to fit in. I hated taking the free lunch tokens as others watched me accept them. I was sick all the time because over-the-counter medicine was too expensive, so a sniffle turned to a cough that turned into something far worse. I'd be quiet when kids would talk about what they did or the TV shows they watched over the weekend, the Cabots up north in Michigan, boats and family vacations. Instead of spending a millisecond on what I didn't have and what others had, I was relentlessly focused on the future and the life that I wanted to have. I was alone a lot in my childhood. I have lost loved ones to suicide and drug overdose. And I was working full time and going to university for 12 years for my bachelor, master's, and PhD degrees and writing books and leading organizations. So I didn't really have time for connected relationships with friends and family or romantic relationships. I was the equivalent of $200,000 in debt in today's dollars that I was determined to pay off in 5 years. So I had to delay the nice home, the car, vacations, and other things. And then I had to find my way in the work world without much guidance. There weren't role models in my life for the education I wanted to pursue and the work I wanted to do and the impact I wanted to make. And so I had to figure it out on my own with not much advice, feedback, or wisdom from someone's experience. It was in no way easy, but I would do it all again because with education, I was able to design a life I loved. I wanted a job that would allow me to experience so many of the world's cultures, to live in major cities, to build a professional and friendship network that I have so many years later, to write books and start a nonprofit organization, to volunteer my time to organizations that matter to me. And later than most, I got married and had children who are the joys of my life. There isn't much remaining on my bucket list, and I hope you too will design a life you love. I often encourage students to think of things that they would love to do in their lifetime, and then keep them in a place that you will see often through the years. This is mine that I created probably 20 years ago that are the things that I um, wanted to create online because my career has focused on ways to leverage the internet for the greatest benefit to humanity. But I had ones prior to this list that were focused on education and public speaking and travel and moments with friends and loved ones. And I hope you have many lists um, for adventure, travel, skills, hobbies, personal development, relationships, and professional goals. Just prompt ChatGPT or Google Gemini and type in, what items are typically on someone's bucket list. And so my own experiences trying to figure it out on my own is why I say yes when I'm asked to teach or to mentor. And it's why I have dedicated to my life to a career of public service and social impact. And it's why I'm here today to share with you what I think is the key to happiness. For me, the secret to happiness in a world full of shadows, the greatest gift we can give to another is to simply encourage one another, to look someone in the eyes and encourage them to be better than they ever thought they were capable of being. And to say to them or simply print out these words for them to keep. The, um, the only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. And I will bring this slide up at the end because I saw this on a wall last night at my daughter's high school as I was walking out after having been a judge in the science fair competition. And I thought, that's just too good not to share tomorrow when I speak to you all. And so you have what it takes um, to to do what you want to do. And so I'll close by encouraging you to believe you, for you to believe you have what it takes to lead your families with patience, tolerance, compassion, and generosity, to develop your best selves, to strive to be the person you don't think is even possible, to understand the freedom in forgiving, to be kind when so many are not, to keep your dreams even when you encounter inevitable tough and unfair moments, to succeed in ways that your children's children will remember, even if it's just being a good parent, partner, or friend, to allow others to define you by your decency, integrity, your help to them, and your compassion, to create, to be happy, to do good, and to give your very best to yourself, your family, and your community. These are the characteristics of a leader, and that's what I hope you all see in yourselves. And I wish you all the very best in all that you will do. Thank you.
Yes, and to all of our attendees, we would be happy to take a question or two. I did have someone ask a question about, how does this information relate to academics? And I feel like Dr. Sarah McCue really touches on emotional intelligence pieces that can help you persevere when the journey is rough and is tough as an adult learner. But yes, so just thought maybe I would point to that because that was a question that came up. I have another question that's come up in the chat, Dr. McCue, if that's all right. I'll go ahead and ask that, and then we'll probably wrap up a little bit early today. But where can you find a mentor to start your business up?
Okay, there we go. Stop share. That is such a good question. The U.S. Small Business Administration has two programs. One is called the Small Business Development Center program. Most SBDCs, that they call them, are located at community colleges and universities. It's free advice. I was with them for 8 years, counseling businesses first on starting up and then on their foreign market entry strategies. It is a terrific program. And I would encourage you to just, if you're not happy with the one locally, call someone else in another community. You really get to know the SBDC program.
Thank you so much. And then, of course, Dr. McCue has also mentioned that you are welcome to connect on LinkedIn. So if there's other questions that do bubble up, please don't hesitate. But I hope that you all were able to pull some information or just some inspiration for whatever you're doing next in your academic journey. And hopefully just these times where you can take a moment to reflect on what you're currently doing and where you want to go helps give you that little boost that you might need to get that next assignment done or the next task done or find that next article that you need to be successful in your journey. But Dr. McCue, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate you coming and presenting this information.
It was a
And if
pleasure.
anyone has any other questions, feel free to reach out to me at another time. But until the next time, I hope everyone stays healthy and well and see you next time. Bye-bye.